भक्तिसिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। नाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोविनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। स्वामी भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you very much.
वंदेऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुता पदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद भजते कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त प्रभु नित्यानंद
Hare Krishna. So, welcome to today's Bhagavad Gita class. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yasodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yasodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sure, thank you. So today we're reading from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text number 21. So I was going to do some more invocation prayers. Om Gyana Trimayandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militanyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutaye Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Brahsyatya Desatarne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Thank you. I'd like to seek all your blessings to those who are listening and those who may be listening online as well, to please give me your blessings so that I'm able to speak something worthwhile. Thank you. Yeah, text number, chapter 9, text number 21. Thanks. So we're going to first start with the Sanskrit recitation and then onto the translation and purport. So, Tetam bhuktva svarvalokam vishalam shine punye marjya lokam vashanti evam traye dharmam anuprapana gata gatam kama labante. So, Tetam bhuktva svarva lokam visalam shene punye martya lokam vasanti evam trayi dharmam anuprapana gata gatam kama labante. Tetam bhuktva svarga lokam visalam shene punya martya lokam vishanti evam trayi dharmyam anuprapana gata gatam kama labante. So I'm not sure if anyone would like to try the Sanskrit recitation themselves. Yes, Fu, thanks. Welcome. Thank you, Boo. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not so good with the meter myself. So yeah. So the translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure, and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, to return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure, and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, to return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. And the translation and the purport. One who is promoted to the higher planetary systems enjoys a longer duration of life and better facilities for sense enjoyment. Yet one is not allowed to stay there forever. One is again sent back to this earth upon finishing the resultant fruits of pious activities. He who has not attained perfection of knowledge, as indicated in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadhyasya Yataha, or in other words, he who fails to understand Krishna, the cause of all causes, becomes baffled about achieving the ultimate goal of life and is thus subjected to the routine of being promoted to the higher planets and then again coming down, as if situated on a Ferris wheel, which sometimes goes up and sometimes comes down. The purport is that instead of being elevated to the spiritual world, from which there is no longer any possibility of coming down, one simply revolves in the cycle of birth and death on higher and lower planetary systems. One should better take to the spiritual world to enjoy an eternal life full of bliss and knowledge, and never return to this miserable material existence. Shri Prabhupada ki. So it said that this material world says Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punar Avartino Arjuna Mamu Petya Tukunteya Punar Janma Navidyate. So it said that this material world, from the highest planet of Lord Brahma down to the lowest planet in the material existence, are all places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. So every planet within this universe, it's still within the realms of repeated birth and death. So it's still in the cycle. It said that every living being has to go through the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. So we can't escape this in the material world. So it's inevitable that our time here is temporary. So it's important to understand exactly what is a human birth. So it's said that the demigods are envious of the human beings here in this material world, because in this the planet Earth, because in this planet Earth we have a great opportunity actually. It's said in the heavenly planets and in the lower planets, it's kind of similar to, like, in terms of animal life, for example, that animals simply have their karma, that they go through their karma, but they don't actually they don't have that ability to actually contemplate. But similarly, in the demigods and the heavenly planets are very very opulent, and it's said that in terms of actually the quality of life there, it's very actually hard to focus on spiritual attainment. So it said, Bogasarya Prasaktanam Teya Praharta Shetasam Vyavyasyatmika Buddhi Samadona Vidiyate. So to those are too much attracted to material opulence and sense enjoyment, and are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service does not take place. So we can see that in terms of actually devotional service, this opulence and so on can be a deterrent. But there's also examples like in Krishna book, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, of Sudama Bripra, for example. He was Krishna's friend from school times, and he committed some offense towards Krishna as well, but he was given a life in terms of more poverty-stricken, and but eventually he was so much devoted to Krishna, and all he could muster in that sense was the humble offering of just some chipped rice, like a few grains of chipped rice. But Krishna was actually very happy with Sudama's offering in that sense, and he deemed him qualified in that sense to have that opulence. He transformed his house into a more opulent one. So for certain devotees who are fully attached to Krishna, and then Krishna can bestow opulence also. Another example is like Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj, he was born the son of Hiranyakashipu. So if you're familiar with Hiranyakashipu, he was a great tyrant, demon in the history, and so he was basically lording it over the whole material universe. He put all the demigods out of their positions, and he was controlling all the universal happenings by his own prowess in that sense. So this is Hiranyakashipu, but Hiranyakashipu, he was very, I believe he was proud, but ultimately, he was envious of Lord Vishnu. So his son Prahlad was a devotee of Lord Vishnu, and Prahlad, he was simply like, he said, like files attracted to a magnet. He was just, simply Krishna conscious in that sense. And Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Shri Shri Sita Ram Laxman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki. So Prahlad Maharaj, he was very much a devotee of Lord Krishna, but ultimately, as you see this picture here on the right of Lord Nrsimhadev, and that's Hiranyakashipu. So Lord Nrsimhadev, he killed, it's Krishna as the half man, half lion, and he killed the demon Hiranyakashipu. But Prahlad Maharaj was such a devotee. He knows that when one is actually killed by Krishna, ultimately it's a blessing. And after this, Lord Nrsimhadev, he ordered Prahlad Maharaj to actually to take over the kingdom of his father in that sense, and to rule the lower planets as well. So it's just another example in terms of that opulence. So opulence is not such a bad thing, but it's even said in the Bible, the Gospel of Matthew, that it's very difficult for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God in that sense. So the thing is that with opulence, and it can be a great deterrent on the path. So in terms of wealthy enjoyment and so on, it is going to lead one into further and further entanglement. But of course, this can be actually dovetailed into Krishna's service. So there's some principles of surrender, and these are what actually will help one. Is of course we have the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, association of devotees, the four regulative principles, and the general process of Krishna consciousness. But in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada, he mentions about these items of surrender which can actually help us. So one thing is actually accepting what is favorable to devotional service. So accepting what is favorable. So for example, from our general routine, we can see in terms of rising early in the morning, taking bath. It said the morning time, the Brahma Muhurta, which is 4:30 and so on. We have Mangalarti. It's very an auspicious time, and in terms of the morning time, it's mode of goodness. So in terms of mode of goodness, we can actually think more clearly, and as well, it says that our memory is more, it's easier to actually remember things. So in the morning time, it's the ideal time for spiritual life. It said I think it's a trend now as well, what's called the 5 a.m. club. So yeah, it's there as well. And also in terms of what's called the 6 loving exchanges. So this is also common as well in the material world in terms of business, life and so on. So that's accepting prasadam, receiving prasadam, accepting a gift, receiving a gift, and then expressing oneself in confidence, and hearing also in the confidence. So these are 6 aspects, but ultimately we can see that why these are so important is that ultimately Krishna is a person, and it's said in the Bhagavad Gita that this world is like a reflection of a tree on the water. So ultimately we can see here that we have people, but Krishna is actually who's called the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna is actually a person, and everything actually in Krishna consciousness is personal. So it's something which we might have, and sometimes what we call impersonal meditation is that on the all-pervading light and so on, that there's no person, that that everyone is God. But this is actually not the final conclusion of the Vedic scriptures. So the final conclusion of the Vedic scriptures is that God is a person. So it's at the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is actually is called the ripened fruit of all Vedic literature. So the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's called the spotless Purana, or the Amala Purana. So there's 6 Puranas in the mode of goodness, and the Srimad Bhagavatam is one of those. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we have pastimes of the Lord's devotees, and Radha and Krishna as well. So it's all about devotion unto the Supreme Person. So this is something which is very important to understand, is that ultimately everything is about becoming personal and developing a relationship. So And this means in terms of with Krishna, but his actual parts and parcels. So it says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mame Vamsa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, that all these living entities are my eternal parts and parcels. So everyone is actually dear to Krishna, and everyone is an individual, like a snowflake. So in this sense, we're all eternal individuals, and we're always, in that sense, actually servants. Many people they have the misconception in terms of what we call the demigods, that Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are also the supreme, but Lord Shiva is the supreme in the spiritual world, but in the material world he's classified as a demigod, and the example is given that he's almost God, but not God, because it's when Vishnu actually comes to this material world to perform a specific duty, and the analogy is given that it's like milk that is churned into yogurt. So it's from, like, it's both dairy for that example, but you can't call milk yogurt, and yogurt can't be changed back to milk in that sense. So Lord Shiva, he's the topmost devotee of Krishna in that sense, and even when Lord Vishnu, the example of the Ganges descending into the material universe, first of all, the Ganges, it actually flowed over the feet of Lord Vishnu, and then Lord Shiva honoured that on his head. So this is also a sign of his devotion for Lord Vishnu or Krishna. And that's an example that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave when he was asked about the Supreme. He didn't say a fact, but he just gives this example of Lord Shiva honouring the water, which is self-evident. I'd like to ask if there's any questions so far of any. Haribol, Raju, thank you.
I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
One is about Maharaj. How come it is that he was born in a house of all demons? And there's another follow-up question. Why was it that he normally, if you've done great activities in your past, you tend to always get born in a place where you've got opportunity to grow even more further?
Yes, yeah, that's generally the case. But first of all, there is a story where Narada Muni was involved in the process, and basically, when Hiranyakashipu was performing austerities, he was singing "O Namo Narayana," and then this disturbed Hiranyakashipu's meditation, and I believe he went to his wife sometime after, and when he was conceiving the child, he was still speaking to his wife, and he was telling about this actual incident. And at the time of conception, he was saying about Om Namo Narayana, and that actually attracted a great devotee in terms of Prahlad Maharaj at that time. So that's the pastime why Prahlad was born into a demonic family. And sorry, your other question was.
The question is someone like Prahlad Maharaj, where he's born in a family of
Oh
demons,
yes.
and is the benefits of someone who's with the opportunity where he's got opportunity to grow more anyway,
Yes, yeah.
while someone who's pushed back Krishna probably rewards it in a better way towards that person more than the other person who's got an easier track. It's like a disabled person trying to run 100 meters and one with 2 legs and one with 1 leg, and the disabled person wins.
Yes, so in terms of why Prahlad Maharaj was born into such circumstances as well, well, the example is given that it is generally not the case. In the Bhagavad Gita, it says, gives 2 examples, that one is the unsuccessful yogi. So this yogi who is unsuccessful, he will take birth again into what's described as an aristocratic family. So he'll have a good opportunity of education and so on, and to continue on the path. Then there's one who is further advanced in spiritual knowledge, and this one, so the other one is one who is unsuccessful, the other one is one who is nearly there, and this one is, for example, will be born like Srila Prabhupada, but Srila Prabhupada was fully there in that sense, but born into a family of transcendentalists, so like born into a Krishna conscious family, like Bhaktivedanta Swati Thakur and so on, were these examples of these type of families. But then in terms of Prahlad Maharaj, I suppose it's for the pastime, the Lord's pastime as well, and Prahlad Maharaj was a devotee who was playing that part for that example. But it's described as well that even Srila Prabhupada said within the Krishna consciousness movement that devotees of the Lord will take birth in different families to actually, materialistic families, and then actually take the Krishna consciousness as well to help others as well. So in terms of the time, place and circumstance as well, yeah.
So would you say, James, that, for example, certain souls which are born in certain households are really fulfilled their spiritual journey and are coming back onto the planet to make others fulfill their journey?
Yeah, that's in like some rare cases, yeah. Like, for example, like Haridas Thakur he considered himself to be lowborn, in terms of being outside of Vedic culture. He was actually from a Mohammedan family, ultimately, but he was like, pure devotee of the Lord. And even the Lord's devotees playing the parts of demons, like Jagai and Madai, I believe they were actually from was considered Brahmana families, but they were still, had, the biggest rogues in that sense. But they actually surrendered unto Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda and became devotees. Yeah. Even the Chand Kazi, who was the Muslim magistrate at the time, he broke the mridanga in Srivas Thakur's home, and he was, against the Sankirtan movement, probably due to if he was under some pressure from the king or whatever, but he ultimately became a devotee as well. Yes, Priyojana Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you.
Very interesting statement. It says, after enjoying the heavenly pleasures and the results of their past activities, they return again. For those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to principles of the three pleasures, achieve only repeated birth and death. You see, the Vedas, ultimately, there is a goal for the Vedas.
Yes, yeah.
And we hear that in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a supreme personality of God. And if we've gone, I personally have gone through many difficulties, split marriage, so many things. Adopted children, and all these things, somehow, I came here somehow I was torn apart from all those things that I love. And I said, what's happening? So I questioned. There must be something doing. And I met a person who was a Bhaktivedanta disciple. And he said one thing. He said to me, what's this human form of life meant for? And I thought, I've never heard that before. Because he was talking about yoga, and I was interested in yoga. And he gave me a book, which was Bhaktivedanta Manor. And anyway, during that time, I was going to pop festivals, enjoying rugby, drinking. No. It didn't satisfy me. I lived my life, my marriage breaking. I wasn't a very nice person, I found out. I thought I was okay. I'm not. I was not very nice to me. And she had good reason for it. And it was then I tweaked. Maybe if I'm not so great, maybe there must be something that I don't know why that this is happening to me. And that's when he said, what's this human form of life meant for? I had to go back and question myself. And that's when I met this person in the Bhaktivedanta talk. He said, what is Hare Krishna? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Read that record.
Yes.
So that changed my life just by hearing that record. Listen, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes. Thank you, Prajnapu. Just to mention on that as well that this material world is made to frustrate us purposely, so it's the material world is perfectly imperfect, so that we'll actually question, and ultimately that's the mercy of the Lord. And in terms of, it says we have there's 3 different births. One is our mundane birth in that sense. Then the most important birth is when that we actually take shelter of a spiritual master. So this is when real life begins, to actually take to the process of devotional service and be connected with parampara. So that's the real goal, is to actually take shelter of the Lord's representative, to actually have that shelter to get the real knowledge. It said in the Bhagavad Gita that they can impart knowledge unto us because they have seen the truth. So the spiritual master can give us real knowledge, and according to time, place and circumstance for our current situation, to cut through the hard ropes of material bondage, to actually free us from our own illusions. Yeah. So thank you very much. Yes, Prabhu. Mm-hmm.
And then your children, they serve you. It's your culture. So you then find out what that is about. How we serve each other. It carries on. And that's what I found when I came here. It's a completely different culture.
Mm-hmm.
People are selfish. They don't want it. But fortunately, there are people it's surprising. And I want something else. I want to be like this. Sorry.
No problem. Thank you. No, yeah, that's true. Das and a das and a das, to be that's our goal, is to be the servant of the servant of the servant. So to actually, the more that we be what seems like, we might seem like more like a low thing, but in terms of, in Krishna's eyes, it's the best thing, to actually to see ourselves actually a servant of everyone, who is, we're all Krishna's children ultimately. Yeah. So thank you. Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Just to say that the Gaur Arati will be in 5 minutes.
Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai. Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. Gaurnitai ki jai. So we'll have Gaura Arti now. The words will be up on the screen in front here. If you could all follow the lead singer. Hare Krishna. Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Aroti Koshoba. Kiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Kiva Jaya Chande Aroti Koshoba. Jana Vitata Vane Jagamanaloma. Jai